Alright, this is part 2 of the 1v1 in grassy flatlands, and the rules are no artillery. I have 5 units of voltigeurs, 5 units of young guard, and 3 units of the flusiers, 1 unit of crossier, 2 units of lancers, 1 unit of the chasseurs de cheval light cavalry, and 1 unit of dragoons. My enemy had 7 units of line. 2 of them were elite. He had 5 units of jaggers, and he had 3 units of lancers and 2 units of crossier. So as I've said again, this battle was no max lawn lights, but we did by coincidence bring 5 lights. We both brought 5 lights, so that was pretty much coincidence at that point. So it might as well be a Normax 5 light game. But previously in part 1, I destroyed his right flank, I destroyed his center, and I destroyed his right flank and center due to my cavalry in support. But his left flank attacked my right, which my right flank did sort of get destroyed here. But a lot of his units are starting to, some of his units from his right flank who retreated previously. You know, they started to come back on the field, and the battle isn't really looking so good for him at the moment, but I mean, he still has, some men left, no doubt about it, and I was still pretty concerned at the moment. It wasn't like I could celebrate so immediately, but I definitely knew that I had a lot of the advantages at this point. So as you can see here, I have 2 units of a young guard, and although he has some 8th life in the area, these guys are only like 68 men, so they won't necessarily be a big deal. And I have a, flanking maneuver with this young guard over here. And right now I'm able to hold back these 3 units, especially with my young guard here harassing their flank. And so since I'm able to hold back this other half of the Prussian army, I'm able to bring up this young guard who was previously stationed over here, and I'm able to bring up this young guard who's previously stationed in this area as well, to respond to other threats. So right now, as you can see, he pretty much walks the units that came back from his retreating right flank. I immediately responded to that, and his guys are going to go out. So my general, I'm going to send my general in to pursue his 8th Life Regiment, because I definitely don't want them to come back on the field. That's not, that wouldn't be so nice at the moment. But the battle is pretty much, I guess, at the moment, lost for him. So it was certainly, a fairly close battle. A lot of times I face, random players who I can defeat pretty easily, but then again, there's other players that you come across to, and they definitely give you a challenge. So this is one of those battles that I definitely had to think a lot more about what I was gonna do, rather than just send my men in. So here's the last Prussian infantry stand. So just a review of the tactics, as I usually do. On my left flank I had 2 units of the young guard, 1 unit of the flusier, and 1 unit of the voltigeurs. And on his right he had 1 unit of musketeers, 1 unit of jaggers, 1 unit of the foot guards. So my left flank, I realized I had a superiority here. His center obviously came into support, and that was something that definitely messed me up a bit, but I quickly attacked his right flank, well knowing that I could immediately defeat the units on his right. Then he launched an attack on my center, with his center cavalry. He launched pretty much an all-out cavalry attack, all-out infantry attack on my center, and that messed me up, as I've said before. But I responded to him with 3 units of cavalry in my center. I had 2 units of cavalry on my right. He wasn't going to attack my right anytime soon, so I was going to bring them from the right to help out my cavalry engagement in the center. and that allowed me to destroy the Prussian cavalry in the center and some infantry. And as my left flank was defeated his right, they came across the Prussian center, but immediately my cavalry, they forced some infantry into squares. My left flank was able to make do with inferior numbers because my cavalry was forcing, a lot of his infantry and lights out of the way. Then, he pushed up with his left, and the rest of his center. I pushed up with some of my right. My right was destroyed. My center, though, defeated his center with help of my left flank. So once my left flank was pretty much victorious at that moment, and it still had a lot of men, I pretty much just attacked the rest of his army. And as you can see here, the last Prussian stand, and that's pretty much the end of the battle at that moment. So I definitely have to say that, I was constantly attacking. He was constantly attacking too, and that's what made this battle, I think a pretty good battle. So here are the statistics, and here's my username. This is more to the right, but that's not going to fit in. Here's my enemy's user, and here are the general statistics. One of my young guard got 192 kills, certainly more than how they were deployed. So yeah, let's battle. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm going to be bringing more of these battles soon.